Alright, good people, this is a video especially for a friend of mine called Diane over in America land, and we were discussing making bread this morning. So she said she was going to have a go, and I said, well, when I make some I'll show you too. So I'm going to kick off with some strong white bread flour. This is Sainsbury's, but there are other brands available. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12. You can use as much or as little as you want. I'm just going to make whatever, I don't know, this will give me a baguette or two. And some sugar. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make 2 loaves, so I'm going to add a little bit more sugar and a bit more flour. What the heck? Okie dokie. Next, we need a little bit of salt. Not too much because it will kill the yeast. And then we need the yeast. Now, the mistake I used to make was using 1 sachet, and in fact it's a little bit, the more the merrier. So go for it. Two sachets, which is 14 grams in that crazy money that we use. And this is going to be a little bit of a different one today. I did suggest to Diane making fennel bread, but I am going to use some of these sun-dried tomatoes. They're in oil. I've never done this before, so it's going to be a complete mystery, a whole new experience. Here we go. Okay, so I've never used this stuff before, and it's in oil, so smells of absolutely nothing. Get my poncho out of the way. Doesn't matter that it's oily, because you can always put oil in your bread. Right, here we go. Choppity chop. Okay, I've chopped my tomatoes, and for no reason at all, I'm going to put some black pepper in this. I think with tomatoes, a little bit of black pepper, give it a little bit of spice. Might just give it a kick, who knows. Alrighty. Now, some bread recipes, and I don't know why, call for oil, some don't, and I'm not going to bother because I'm using the oil from the tomatoes, which are now going in. Then warm water, complete with spare pepper. Now, a lot of the recipes say put the flour on the work surface, pour the water in the well and knead it. I have to say I'm not a huge fan of that, because it seems to me there's a good chance if you haven't quite cleaned your surface properly, it could end up in the dough. I know one should always clean one's surfaces properly, but anyway, hey ho. Right. Now that is quite wet and stodgy. And I'm averse to getting my hands grubby. Nice thing about this is the more you knead it, the stickier and tackier and what have you it gets, and it actually takes all the gum off your fingers. You need to start with it a bit squodgy, and in fact a little bit squodgier than that. I'm going to stick a little bit more water in. Yeah. Squishy, squodgy. And keep kneading that for about 5 or 10 minutes. Say, I'm a bad boy, I only use one hand. If it's really too wet, of course you can add extra flour. Okay, that was a little bit too sloppy, so I did stick a handful of flour in. But that's about right. That's what it should look like. And then basically we cover the bowl with whatever you like. Modern recipes say cling film towel, and then leave it for an hour, hour and a half till it doubles in size. So note the current size, and we shall see in an hour. This is the difficult bit now. You've got to find something to entertain yourself with for half an hour, for an hour and a half. Hey, okay, back later. Okay, so about an hour later, an hour and a bit. Oh boy. Now this was supposed to be a small loaf. Yeah, it's grown a little bit, hasn't it? So I think what I'm going to do is make one tomato baguette, and I've got some pepperoni, so I think I'll make a pepperoni one as well. Why not? Hey ho. Okay, so now we give it a bash. And flatten it. I don't know why it rose that big, I'll be honest. I think it's actually got a little more liquid than I usually do, so maybe I'll make it too heavy. Right, then we split it into two. And I tend to just put it straight on the old greaseproof paper. And make a sort of baguette type shape. It don't have to be perfect because it's going to grow again. So we'll do it like that. There we are. Man baguette. And then we have pepperoni. And my second piece of greaseproof paper. If I was organised, I'd use a rolling pin, but why bother? Spread it out. Slap some of this on it. course you always have to taste a slice to make sure it's alright. No, you don't have to, Toby. Right, fold it over. Turn it over so the fold is on the bottom. That is a bit big, so I think what I'm going to do is cut that in half and make two. There we go. Well, simples. There we have 3 breads, 3 baguettes, and cover them with a clean towel and leave for another half hour, 45 minutes, whatever. Okay, so about 40 minutes later, ta-da! Look at that. Pretty darn good if you ask me. So, we'll stick those on a baking tray, because I don't actually have a baking stone, which would probably be a good plan. But there we go, on a baking tray and in the oven. Alrighty. So, in the oven. And they're not going to fit. Yes, they are. Hang on. So I should do it, and that's at gas mark 4. You can do them for 25 minutes to start with, and then we'll see what happens. And a bit late, but I meant to just do this. I think I have left it a bit late, but you never know. Chuck it back in. Okay, so we've had 35 minutes now. You are supposed to turn over, tap the bottom and see if they're hollow sounding, which they're not quite. So it doesn't say to do this in the instructions, but I'm going to put them back in upside downsy and let them brown a little more, just to crisp up. So about another 10 minutes I reckon, max, and then they're done. Okay, so there we are, another 10 minutes. Slightly brown on the bottom. Stick them on a wire rack. How? To cool down. Don't they look yummy? Ooh. Of course you could have put seeds on or whatever you want on top, but I didn't this time round, and I will demonstrate in a very short while when they've had a chance to cool down. And here we go, they've cooled down. I'm not going to cut the tomato, because actually what we're going to do is slice that up with some melted cheese and have a pizza-y typey thing for tea. But let's have a crack at the pepperoni. Wow. Would be so rude not to try it, wouldn't it? Oh. Oh. Oh wow. Yummy. Definitely yummy and fluffy. And if I turn it over, it smiles. There you go. Enjoy.